All right, I'm here.
We'll go live. Kappa, here we are. We're pressing a button. Let's get into it. Have a beer guest of the year for the 22nd time. It's not enough,
22
is it?
times.
22. Catch 22. And Kappa, it looks like you've been kicked out. You're in the spare room.
Yeah. I've got my little studio here. Things have changed, man. Things have changed since our 21st show last week. Carlton United have paid for me to have this little space here, and yeah, it's huge, man. I'm getting a heap of stuff. I get my own car. They're giving me a limo, a beer-shaped car. It's crazy.
Beer-shaped car. That sounds.
Yep.
I would say tell me more, but I fear that that would be a bad thing to delve into. Welcome back, everybody. Let's have a beer guest of the year. We had a big one for our 21st birthday last week, Kappa. It was so good to see everybody in real life. Well, kind of in Zoom life. To be honest, not everybody looked how I expected them to look. You know, it's quite exciting when you see Elder Taco, for example, looking younger than I thought his name suggested.
Yeah. Very, very, very sprightly looking Elder Taco is. He's actually a young Taco.
He's a minor Taco. We've got so many people chatting away already about the different beers that they've got. And Bench, congratulations on getting the last keg from Aldi of Paulina Helles. I mean, that beer, like all those German beers, went out of Aldi so quickly. It's almost like craft beer is not even a thing. It's German beer that's travelled 8,000 miles. That's what people want.
Yeah, bloody mate, I've been on the Wiener Stefano or whatever it's called all week, and it is great. It is incredible.
Can I also just say that Stuart D in the chat has been complaining that he's got no beers. He's all out of beer. Now, he's done this before, Stuart, and he said, I've got no beers, and he said, so I'm drinking gin instead, which is kind of a cheat, because we were just, going to offer to hop out the bottle shop for him, but it turns out he's fine. And today he said, I'm all out of beer. And then later in the chat he said, but I do have 2 cans of Burnley's Russian Imperial Stout.
Oh, man.
And that is last night. Perfect. That is what I'm drinking tonight. It is... the can design is beautiful. But it is great. Like, I do like Burnley beers generally, but this is... It's so... Like, it's 9.8%. It's so drinkable, but it's got that whiskey hit. It's got the complexity. It is delicious.
Yeah. I was trying to search for the word last night, but complexity is the one that I have hit, which is... That's great. It's
good because it does say complex imperial stout, but
does it?
So maybe you cheated.
I was trying to say to my girlfriend, I'm like, "There's heaps of flavors," and yeah,
yeah. We did. Yeah, I was sharing it with my my other half, and we had quite an in-depth conversation about the different things that we could taste. But it is great, really approachable and really pleasant.
Ian, I'm going to one up you there. I've also got a Burnley with Old Wives Ales, nice. Kiwi Lemon New England IPA.
Oh,
and it is
nice.
Great. I can't believe it. The two combined. This is crazy. This is Simon and Garfunkel.
I can't tell you how much I like collaborations. I just love a collaboration. Like, I love two breweries getting together and just, or maybe even more, but I just love collaborations. It's maybe something to do with my socialist outlook, or just trade unionism, or people just being together that really gets me going. But amazing. DJ RXR 6 just rolls off the tongue. That he's pretty upset that he can't get any of this Burnley beer in Bendigo. I'm sure it's something they're going to be doing again soon. Well, obviously it takes 6 months in the barrel, but in 6 months.
I wonder if you ever come down to Melbourne, mate. I can get you one if you like, and keep it for you.
Yeah, yeah. Well, when we're 2025, when we're out of lockdown.
Oh, that's great. So many good beers. I saw someone, I think it was Bench, he was drinking the Mayflower table beer, which is so good. That is a great beer. And what's the someone was drinking the Burnley New England IPA Reloaded, which looks awesome as well.
Nice. And we've got Clint in the house as well. Very kindly, Clint turned up last week for the party as well in the Zoom before the show. And yeah, look, Clint, you've got, I think, in the Fizz and Hop packs, one of these in there. I don't know if that's a big reveal or not, but that's why Stu's got two of them, because one of his friends doesn't like stouts. Like, what a friend to have. I don't like stouts, so there you can have my Russian Imperial barrel-aged stout. That is superb.
Also, I was meant to ask you, Clint, are there still places left at the tasting tomorrow if I come and pick it up tomorrow? Because I've got to do my delivery job. Are there any packs left? Are you all sold out?
There we go. We'll find out shortly. I'm sure it's Clint said it's going to be boozy tomorrow. It's going to be boozy. It is lots of fun even if you don't get the beers, even if you can't get them by tomorrow, you can watch Clint on Facebook or through the Fizz and Hop page or on the Zoom. It's great fun, and I've got to say, one of the things I really love about the Fizz and Hop is when Angus, the chef, comes on, and he is so passionate about food. It's brilliant. So we should get started, Kappa. We should get started. Yeah. Have a beer guest of the year. If you're joining us for the first time, then Kappa's going to throw a lot of things at me, and events and circumstances, and I'm going to try to guess the year by the end of the episode. I am very sadly going to check out of the chat. Hello, Kel, as well, who's here. We've got so many. Jared, amazing. Craig P. Yes, Craig.
It's so good. Too bad. I mean, the after party went so. I could have stayed at that forever last week, but I had to restrain myself. But we should have another after party soon, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. And even so, great to see Justine and Jared drinking Boilermakers, and just superb. Yeah. I will check out of the chat now, Kappa. I'm all yours.
Okay. All right. Oh, also, Clint, you got to message me your details, and I'll pay for that pack. Actually, if you got two, let me know if you got two, and I'll get one for Ian because I owe him one. So, yeah.
There we go.
Got yours,
Ian? No. I'm boycotting Fizz and Hop. I've heard about their some of their practices with their. No, I'm only kidding.
Man,
they're great.
The third word, that room of children they have, we'll forget about that. You know, that Clint makes pack the packs. That slavery thing he had going. That's all under the bridge.
It's not just they've got that Get on the Beers by Daniel Andrews on the side of the building, which has quickly become iconic. But they also have a side industry in doing Pauline Hanson's stubby holders. So it's yin and yang, but
yes. Okay, let's do this. Let's do this. Clinton's like, who told you about upstairs? All right, all right. Let's get into this. Okay, Ian, you're a homeowner, so well, kind of. The bank owns most of it,
yeah.
But I think the main reason you bought a house is because you love economics, and in this year was the first year that the European Economic Community comes into being.
Ooh.
Yeah.
This is throwing me off already, because the British membership of the EEC came later. I think Britain had the initial application rejected something like 5 or 6 times. The irony. And the European Economic Community, I think, it started after the Second World War. But it was just 6 countries, and it was the Iron and Steel Community. I think that's what they call themselves.
Yeah.
And then it kind of evolved, but I'm not sure at what point it became the EEC.
Yeah.
Oh.
And then later on, it became the European Union.
Yeah, the European Union. And everything's going so well now.
Yeah. I mean, it's great because you've got the crazy work, probably 100 hours a week people in Germany, and then you've got the laid-back people in Greece, and the whole thing works out really well.
The thing is, though, in Germany, they work really hard, but because they're so rules-driven, it's like if your contract says you work till 5:30, all the lights go off in the office at 5:31. It's like everyone's gone. Like, the culture is really rigid, whereas it's actually, believe it or not, British people who work the longest hours in Europe and get paid some of the least. So...
Man, you're so right there. I forgot about this because they actually, I think it's Germany, Europe, the Nordic countries set the standard because they're like, you don't work over the hours. That way you work the hardest in that time.
Yeah, and also you don't devalue your time, because if you work at 2 hours for free at the end of your shift, like, you're diluting the rest of your hours and your pay over the course of that time. So you're saying, I am worth less. And Britain have proven this by saying, we are worthless. We're going to check out of the European Union.
Oh man, don't get me started on the bloody... I love it how Australia's like, yeah, we're going to base our economy model on America. What we're going to do is we're going to pay less people time and a half, less people double time. We're just going to make them work for less and less money, and it's really helped America just wind down holidays, make the holidays shorter and shorter. Still, people are just working 2 weeks a year for tips.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Dear. Don't get me started on tips. I mean, that is the opening scene of Reservoir Dogs, isn't it? With the discussion about tips. And it's a very strong economic discussion. I think it is Tarantino himself having that discussion. But, yeah, very fine.
Okay. Let's go with this one. Godfred Kirk Christensen files a patent for the iconic plastic Lego brick. From its foundation, his company will make 400 billion Lego elements.
Goodness. Lego. I think it means, doesn't it mean to play is in Danish, Lego. And I think in Latin, Lego means something like assemble.
Oh, yeah.
So, but that doesn't help me with the patent as well. That is a great clue, Kappa. The patent, not even when it was released.
Yeah, so because
Wow.
there was a lot of people trying to, yeah, they were trying to take. I remember, it's crazy, man, because they Lego were going to go broke, because they were incredibly closed about giving out the plans or and giving it to the hands of the people. But then they decided to open it up fully and
Wow.
go, hey, you guys can be free and send us your Lego things. And it was totally against their rigid kind of way. They want, in Denmark, they're like, you get what you pay for, But they were like, they opened it up to the public, and that's what saved Lego, because people, they like create what you want, making an open plan type thing.
Wow. That
Yeah.
is very interesting because where do Mega Blocks fit in with the patents? Because it's always amazed me that you can buy Mega Blocks which are identical to Lego but somehow not as good, even though they're identical but
Yeah.
not as
Yeah.
good. How does that happen? Is it the quality of plastic? Is it I can't work it out. When I was working in a school, Kappa, one of the we had all of these Lego sets, and the kids like grade threes love them. And one of the parents came to me like after a few weeks of the kids playing with these. That's all they did, by the way, in class. Uh, they no maths, no literacy, no assembly, just Lego. And one of the mothers sent me an email saying, I know you've been playing with these Lego sets. Can you tell me where they're from and where you bought them from? Because I'd like to buy the same sets. And I was like, yeah, I'm not sure. I checked the date, and they were from the 1970s. And these sets
Really?
were as good as new. Like I was I had to email her back and go, you might get some on eBay, but, but they just don't make them anymore.
Yeah, I remember we had cool special educational Lego sets at my school, and it was awesome.
Yeah,
It was
Lego
great.
Technic, that was a favorite of mine.
Oh, that was so good.
That was
Yeah, those. A lot of people said, yeah, Duplo is Lego for kids with fat hands. Duplo was part of Lego, I think, and then yeah, Meccano was a big favorite as well.
Meccano.
Um,
That was actually invented in my home city.
oh, there you go. What a British
Yeah,
invention.
all made in France now, but
Yeah, Meccano just doesn't have the same roll off the tongue as Meccano.
yeah, mind you, in a Liverpool accent, Meccano is quite Meccano. What are you doing with me, Meccano, there, laddie? Do you Meccano?
I'll rock you for you Meccanos.
They also invented Hornby train sets in Liverpool as well. The Hornby train, the model
Mm.
trains.
Mm.
They were brilliant.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. That they didn't really make it across to here, I don't think.
Well, it's a train,
Uh,
isn't it? Not very good in water.
yeah, yeah. A child's train set, not the best way to cross the Atlantic or whatever. Okay. Egypt and Syria unite to form the United Arab Republic.
Which two countries? Syria and
Egypt.
Egypt. The United Arab Republic. I've never heard of that. The UAR.
Mm.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know how what you think of your kind of. I know you're a big fan of the Emirates. You're always talking about it. Oh my God, I love Dubai. I know it would be, it would be great on that white skin of yours. Due to your complexion, and I know that you would love
I
Emirates.
think I would actually just disintegrate into the sand. It would
Man,
be.
I'm from outback Australia, and I spent like 2 days there, and I was destroyed, like absolutely destroyed. It was heat like I'd never heard before. I mean, felt, not heard. You could hear the
Hey,
heat though,
Kappa, back to the Lego. You know when they were
actually.
struggling financially, Did they have to go for a loan to the building society? Sorry, I just thought of that then. It seems so terrible to take us back like 5 minutes, good 5 minutes. We've left the Lego, we've done that. You can't possibly.
Ian pun. You kind of went for something a bit obscure here, and it's really blown up.
Yeah. I was bricking it when I was telling that joke as well. I've got a pen, like I'm going to write something down as well, but I don't have any paper, so I feel that makes me look more intelligent.
Okay. Sputnik 1 falls to the Earth from its orbit and burns up.
Ooh. These are good clues, Kappa. They've got me a bit all over the place. This is good.
Yeah, some people are into the clues tonight. Usually I really screw this up. Usually by giving away the date, but yeah. Clint says he votes for a full episode of Ian doing his impersonation of a Liverpudlian.
See, I am a Liverpudlian, but people can understand me. That's the difference between me and my home city folk, whose accents do vary wildly. But
man, that's got to be an ESL person's worst nightmare, encountering a Liverpudlian that lives in Australia. A man talks fast with his mouth closed.
Yeah, it is a big challenge. There's a few players, for soccer players, who've come to Liverpool to play, and they can't speak any English when they arrive, and they adopt the accent, and it's quite wild to hear like Jan Molby, who is a Danish international, talk with a slight Danish hint in his accent, but it's a very unique sound. It's very difficult for people to replicate as well because it's very muscular. So it's like the way your tongue develops and things to get the words out, because we say in Liverpool we say Bach, like we've got that like Germanic in the clear in the throat, which I think comes from Welsh, which is next door. So it's like like really difficult thing to easily replicate. So there's a lot of films when they feature like Liverpool, like Robert Carlyle, famous actor, tried to do a Liverpool accent for a whole film, and it was dreadful. Just can't be done. But then you've got the Beatles, and they have much gentler Liverpool accents.
Okay, what about this? Okay, you know about your sport, Ian. Actually, I'll put that one on the burner for a bit. It's early days. Still got about 10, 15 minutes, so we'll put... Okay. The nuclear-powered submarine, the USS Nautilus, becomes the first vessel to cross the North Pole underwater.
Wow.
Yeah. You're always talking about submarines. So there you go, mate. A big clue.
That's good. Yeah. Spent an hour or two on Periscope. I mean, Das Boot was good.
Das Boot, yeah. Well, I've never seen that. Is that a classic, Das Boot?
Yeah, well, there's two versions now. So there's the film, which is the original film, and then there's a series that was made more recently, which is pretty good, the series. But do you remember they brought out, someone in the chat might be able to tell you, there was an American-made film. It was called like U-Boat U567 or something.
Yeah.
It was a story of this incredible story, about like the Battle of the Atlantic and all this whatever happened.
Yeah. And
the Americans made a film, and it was a full American crew on this submarine, and that didn't happen. It was a British vessel full of people who probably spoke like me, but the Americans just went, "Now we're having that." It's like if
Yeah.
someone got up on stage before you were going to get up on stage and did long wife, and you'd be going, no, that's mine. You can't just come and take. You can't just come and take that. That's it's outrageous. I don't know. Someone look on Wikipedia for that one.
Said U571 is the name of the movie. I think it had Matt McConaughey in it.
U571, yeah.
And I think it was bad McConaughey. It was when it wasn't that good. When he kind of he stopped. He was kind of in his more mainstream phase then. Okay. What about this? Pizza Hut is founded by Dan and Frank Carney in Wichita, Kansas.
Ooh. Kansas. Have they got a big Italian community in Kansas?
Yeah, I think so.
I don't know. Well, maybe they probably haven't if Pizza Hut took off there.
Yeah. I don't know. Pizza Hut. It's not really pizza, is it? So I think it's more streamlining food. Like a streamlined restaurant, really.
Yeah, I'll put an allegedly on the front of this, but they put they worked out formulas so that they could do the all-you-can-eat buffet, but they worked out formulas for the food so that they put bicarbonate of soda in the dough so that it filled people up. It basically became effervescent in people's stomachs, so it filled them up. I don't know how much of that is true, but obviously then free soft drinks which would fill you up. So all these cost cutting, there's quite a science to it. But man, I remember the first ever Pizza Hut I went to was in America. I can't even.
Oh, really?
I didn't even know whether we had one in Liverpool at the time.
Yeah, I didn't go to any fast food till I was 12 or 13 because there was just no McDonald's or no Pizza Hut where I lived. So we just never went there. We didn't even know what they looked like.
Isn't
went to boarding school, and I went to Pizza Hut, and I was like, oh wow, this is what it is.
So fast food. So food you'd only ever had slow food,
Yeah, man. Yeah.
How fast? Yeah.
Oh, actually, sorry. We had KFC. We had a KFC.
KFC. The first ever KFC opened in Britain was in a town in the northwest called Preston. Now, Preston is famous. They've got a famous football team called Preston North End. And the other thing it's famous for is it has, or did have, the largest bus terminal in Western Europe. And
hot.
Why open a KFC? Of all the places you could open a KFC, Preston. I just in Lancashire. I just don't know the link with fried chicken and Preston. But there we go. I suppose if you got the biggest bus terminal in Western Europe, you've also got a lot of people waiting around for the bus. And what better way to eat your food than out of a bucket?
Yeah, that's so funny. Food service is going downhill where you're you know what the best place to open a KFC is? A bus station. Most.
But also they're selling food in a bucket, and the next step is a trough, isn't it? I mean, that's the evolution of this. Is just awful way to consume food.
Okay. The nuclear... Oh, sorry. We've already done that one. Okay, I'm going to give you a big one now. Real Madrid...
I'm struggling. What?
Real Madrid beats AC Milan at Herstal Stadium, Brussels, and wins the European Cup.
Okay. Heysel Stadium wins the European Cup. It must have been one of the early European Cups, I think. Madrid have won the European Cup something 15 times or something. Liverpool have won it 6 times, but I don't think Madrid's early effort should count, because at the point that Madrid won a lot of their European Cups, it was an invitational trophy. It wasn't the European Cup as we know it. So I think it was a bit unfair to carry those cups over for all of that time. So I don't know, but that gives me a bit of a ballpark, I suppose. AC Milan.
People love Pizza Hut. A lot of submarine film buff fans here. The Hunt for the Red October.
Oh, Sean Connery.
Yeah. Yeah. 4 hours of submarine. Director's cut. Yeah, that's great. That's great. Everyone's like the Pizza Hut in Bendigo. Yeah, it's still going. I think. I want to go and hit it. I think Ballarat's still open as well. So yeah, I'm definitely going to have to go hit those. Apparently, John Bon Jovi's in the movie U571 or whatever the fuck it's called.
Well, I suppose, Johnny used to work at the docks, so it's a natural progression to jump in. On the U-boat thing as well, I've just remembered that one of the tourist attractions in my hometown is a German U-boat that was found on the bottom of the river, and they hauled it up. They've cut it in half, and you can have a look through what it would have been like in an actual U-boat. So an actual German submarine. Oh, yeah. And so, like, one of my friends, he used to work in a shipyard doing an apprenticeship, the friend I went to school with, and part of his job was to make parts for the German U-boats that they pulled up from the bottom, and then they made them in this beautiful, like, steel, and then they had to rust. They had to rust them to match the U-boat. And and one of the things that when it was hauled up off the seabed, when the people had a look at what was inside, they found all these different things inside the U-boat that had obviously been shot down. One of the boxes that they found was full of condoms. Now, this caused a diplomatic issue because it led to the German Navy, the modern German Navy, having to make an official statement to say that the Germans in the 1940s used to use condoms as a naval tool and navigational aid.
Okay.
I mean, that is good, isn't it? I mean, rather than just hold your hands up and go, they were at sea for a long time. They couldn't even go up for a breath of fresh air.
I'm just happy that they were playing it safe. That's good.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
So...
yeah, that's great.
Yeah, I got told that by one of my tutors at university who was an expert in maritime history, and he relished this opportunity to tell us about it. But yeah, amazing.
Okay. All right. What about this one? U.S. Army inducts Elvis Presley, transforming the King of Rock and Roll into U.S. Private 533-10761.
So this was
Presley in the army now.
This was a big publicity stunt, wasn't it? That they were trying to get Elvis. So this is a really interesting one because I think they would get Elvis to do all of these. Did he? I don't know if he's had his head shaved. I don't know whether that happened, but they picked loads of pictures and publicity about Elvis going into the army, and then you've also got the backdrop of likes of Muhammad Ali refusing to go, and it was like this. Right. So this is obviously part of the race struggle. So I think Elvis unwittingly probably saw this as a good opportunity, but the subtext of it all was that this white boy from the South, he's an American hero, and these other people are traitors. So it's pretty wild, but they're good pictures of Elvis. But I cannot remember what year that was.
Yeah.
How could I know so much about that and not?
No. Oh, man, that's what you don't remember the time it was. You remember the weird fact.
Mm.
Okay, the Beatles, at this time known as the Quarrymen,
Oh,
paid 17 shillings and sixpence to have their first recording session, where they record Buddy Holly's "That'll Be the Day" and "In Spite of All Danger," a song written by Paul McCartney and George Harrison.
wow. Buddy Holly, he's a good artist. He's the first ever music artist in history to have written, sang, produced, and played all at the same time on his album. So before that point, all the other artists, you'd either turn up and sing, that's all you do, or you turn up and play, that's all you do, or you turn up and produce, or turn up and write, or you wouldn't turn up and write, you'd probably write and then send it in. But you'd just have one job, and then it was like all these moving parts. And Buddy Holly was the first guy to actually amalgamate them all. And then that kind of became the norm. So I can imagine he was a good artist to follow and to do. The Quarrymen. Okay.
Yeah.
Goodness.
Okay.
Wow, I'm all over the place with this one, Kappa. You're doing a great job.
Okay, I've got. All right, let's speak up a bit. We've got Fleabag's on soon. Bobby Fischer wins the United States Chess Championship.
Bobby Fischer? Wasn't Bobby Fischer in Home and Away? Was that Bobby Fischer?
That's a different Bobby Fischer.
Is this difference, you say? Come on. Didn't she die in a boating accident in Home and Away?
Yeah. So and then she came back later on, I think.
No. Bobby.
I think so.
I mean...
That was like our Who Shot JR. That was... how did Bobby die?
Yeah.
It was a big deal.
To die at sea and to be called Bob. Wow, Bobby Fischer won the chess, did you say?
At the age of 14. I thought this might be something that would give it away for you, but obviously not. Okay.
We're still learning about each other, Kappa. This is the most protracted speed dating in history.
You usually know some dumb shit like this that'll really kill it. Okay, what about the Battle of Ed Kura? The Moroccan Army of Liberation ambushes a Spanish patrol.
So haven't they... I think it's decided, isn't it? There is a tiny bit of land in Morocco which is for the Spanish. And then that's to compensate for the tiny bit of land on the other side, which is owned by the British, Gibraltar, the Rock of Gibraltar. Yeah. So it's kind of a standoff. I presume it'll be something to do with that, but it still doesn't help me with the year. But go on, keep going. We've got another couple of minutes.
All right, this is a big one. 7 Manchester United footballers are among the 21 people killed in the Munich air disaster in West Germany on the return flight from a European Cup game in Yugoslavia.
You know, Kappa, I've actually done a Wheel of Sport episode on this, but I didn't do it. My friend Matt led the episode, and it's an amazing story. We didn't actually focus too much on the detail of the plane crash, but actually what an amazing football team this was, and how they were kind of, some of them survived and went on to have incredibly successful careers, but it's quite amazing the story behind it. I'm trying to remember the year though.
Carl Chandler told me, he said, Kappa, tell him we signed Thiago.
Oh, yes. That is great.
Yeah, man. I watched.
Thanks,
I
Carl.
watched.
That's
Post, I watched post this kind of era. I watched a documentary on George Best when he was part of the rebuilding process.
yes, yeah,
When they recruited him around when he was around 14 or something like that, or 15. He got there and he's like, "This is too daunting. I'm going to go home." And then they got him to come back, him and his mate.
wow. Yeah, it's an amazing story how they changed the whole tilt of this failing football club and put the emphasis on young players and youth, and then to have that incident where wiped out a lot of the team, but they've managed to get through it. Even like greats like Bobby Charlton and things that went on to win the World Cup, and just incredible. Yeah.
Okay. The Soviet Union launches Sputnik 3, but I don't know if that helps you.
So
Okay.
a Sputnik fell out the sky and was also launched in this year. That's pretty good.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
All right, are people locking in their guesses in the chat here?
We're going to start locking in their guesses. Yeah, okay. Um,
You've had me all over this place with this one because some of the stuff I was like right into the kind of 1970s and then into the kind of 60s, and then some of it I was thinking 1940s or 50s.
Yeah.
so you've done very well with the clues here. I thought, by the way, Luke did an amazing job last week on the clues. There was some belters, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And we worked out in the chat afterwards that we were all born in that year, and we didn't get it. Not that we should have great awareness when you're 0.
Well, people are locking in their guesses. There's guesses all over the place. What are you saying this week, Ian?
There's a couple of ones that have got me, which is I'm really struggling between. You said that Real Madrid won the European Cup. I don't know when that competition started, whether it was the 50s or 60s. The Beatles and the Quarrymen, like the Beatles kind of became a thing in 1962, so it's got to be before that. I don't know when they stopped. I think they became the Silver Beatles and then became the Beatles. They obviously went to Hamburg as well. Do you reckon there's any Pizza Huts in Hamburg? Surely all just hamburger joints, isn't it? Is it? I don't know. Now, do you know what's confusing me as well is that you've come up with loads of really good clues and I've gone off on a tangent about bus stations in Preston. I'm thinking, when was the first bus station in Preston? It wasn't even a clue. It's just thrown me off. And then the European Economic. Is it the European?
What do you reckon? What do you reckon?
Easy. I'm gonna go late 50s. Okay. 1957.
You going 1957?
Yeah.
Okay, everyone's locked in their clue. Everyone's locked in their year.
There's never been so much tension in Spare Room.
And this year, for Have It Be a Guess a Year, is 1958. You and DJ XR6, who got it right. Everyone else was out by 3 to 4 years.
Wow. See, that is very well played, Kappa. Though the excellent clues, like that is, like the patents for Lego 1958. That is a great clue. Wow, so many good ones there.
Yeah,
very well played.
D was nearly there, but yeah, DJ XR6, you've won tonight, mate. You can, I don't know. Well, I don't know. Someone send him a beer.
No, well, Dan's he's in Bendigo. He can go out and party.
Yeah, you bloody bastard. You can send us a beer.
No, actually, DJ XRX6 was he was very unfortunately couldn't get his hands on one of these things, so he should send us pictures of him drinking beers at a pub to taunt us back. Feel free to do that, Daniel.
Yeah, for sure,
All right.
Man. Yeah,
excellent.
It's been great. We've had so much great banter in here. Pizza Hut really kicked off, and submarines. You guys are real idiots. Penguins, submarines, Pizza Hut.
Penguins? What is the obsession with penguins? Who knows?
Oh yeah, Stuart D says, have a beer for us at Handlebar. I love Handlebar. There's so many good bars in Bendigo. Flight Bar is amazing. They've actually got a real good bottle shop there. Hop Supply, I think, which is excellent as well. So good.
Kappa, so, you and I were talking about the potential. We should go and do when the restrictions are over, we should do a live version of Have a Beer Guest Year in Bendigo. Who would be up for a day trip to the fine city of Bendigo? Because I love the place.
I fucking love the place. Yeah,
we could all go up and tear the place apart.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Well, we won't do a day trip. We all stay up there.
Jeez, I don't want it to turn into something romantic, Kappa.
We don't have to stay in the same place.
We'll take this off mic.
The Shamrock is a beautiful hotel to stay at. I stayed there this year. It was awesome.
Yeah, the Shamrock also has a picture of Prince Charles and Lady Diana. Because they stayed there, I think.
Really?
Yeah.
You're kidding?
Yeah.
Man, also the bottle shop, the Hop Supply bottle shop, we've got a room upstairs that we could do the show in. I did comedy there. It was great. Great craft beer bottle shop.
We're getting the nuts and bolts together here. We can join the dots and maybe we can get Trev as well, who runs Bendigo Beer, Bendigo on a Hop. Maybe can help out as well with some organisation. Maybe Daniel as well. And I don't know if anyone else is in Bendigo, but
DJ RXR6, he was at Hop Supply today, which is awesome. But I'd say before we go to Bendigo, mate, our first place, we got to do a live show at Fizz and Hop or the beer hall there. Those guys are opening up. We'll go there first, you know.
We'll all right. We'll do a warm up. Maybe we'll do a morning show at Fizz and Hop. Jump on the train, go to Bendigo, do an evening show. And thank you, Susan Williams has just offered Daniel's place as a place to stay in Bendigo. So thanks. That might well be Metropolitan Melbourne COVID Central in Bendigo. You'd be on Channel 7.
That's great, man.
We will definitely get something going anyway. We love you guys. Thanks again for tuning in to Have a Beer Guest of the Year. We will be back next week. We're still in lockdown. We'll be back. 8:30. YouTube. Beer together.
Ooh.
Tell some of your friends. Today. Not all of them. Some of them are idiots, but some of them. Tell them we're on.
We are coming up to maybe having a beer together in the next 6 weeks. So that'll be good.
Can I just read out Clinton? He said, my first and only night in Bendigo ended up passed out in a motel wearing cowboy boots with a large box of KFC popcorn chicken. Very fine work. Very fine work.
What are we going to do with you?
Here we go. Stuart Dees, he's already organised the, we can jump off the train at Wood End and go to Holgate Brewery on the way. We do 3 shows in a... We won't know what year it is by the time we get to Bendigo, but it's been lovely, everybody. Thanks so much, and take care of yourselves, and we'll see you next time for Have a Beer Guest of the Year. Thanks, Kappa, Play the Blinder.
Yes. Thank you, sir, and we'll talk to you soon.
Bye.